First News with Keeler in the morning on WIBX and WIBX950.com.
Sergeant Mike Curley is on the right now from Utica PD. Michael, good morning. Thanks for coming on.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Good. So the last time we had spoken about this, on the 16-year-old on a bicycle being shot, luckily she has survived, but she was the target, which kind of surprised me. It's telling us that there is an out of control gunfight happening with teens in East Utica. What's going on?
That's the truth, and in broad daylight, unfortunately. A couple of these incidents that we've had over the last 2 or 3 days have all been during the daylight hours from noon to 4 or something like that, on top of being an 18-year-old victim just yesterday morning and then the 16-year-old victim in this particular case.
Okay. So what did we learn about the shooting? In this case, it is a 17-year-old who's been arrested.
Yeah, so this was an interpersonal dispute over, kind of a relationship issue amongst the things. I don't want to get too much into it since it's not gone through the court process yet, but basically it stemmed from those two being involved in an argument initially, and unfortunately the 17-year-old shot the 16-year-old in the chest. We're thankful to report that she is doing much, much better than initially reported and expected to make a full recovery, albeit, long road.
Yeah.
I know you said you didn't want to talk too much about the relationship, but I guess how do I ask this question?
Was it a relationship between the two of them?
No. There was issues amongst another individual between the two. So.
Okay, I was going to wonder, at what point does a friendship do you decide to allegedly shoot the other person?
It's unheard of prior to now. It seems that this would be the case when it comes to 15, 16, 17-year-olds. I think that's the sad part. We've seen the demographic shift. 5 years ago, it was our 25 to 35-year-old male range that were shooters, and now we're seeing both females and 16, 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds possessing weapons and using them indiscriminately. And it's kind of a sad state of affairs we got going on.
Do you have any idea of the shootings that occurred? I think there were 3 over the weekend. Are these retaliation-type things stemming from other shootings, or are these separate instances, or do you not know yet?
Yeah, at this point, they appear to be all separate incidents, which is kind of a double-edged sword. It's good that they're not retaliatory. We don't have people, going back and forth. But secondly, that many individuals have weapons and, again, are using them against other people. But we do have some pretty good leads in at least 2 of those cases. There's some strong video surveillance, and we hope to make an arrest very soon on at least 2 of them.
So I have Michael in Utica who called earlier and said he was bothered by what he has called the harassment of panhandlers.
No, a harassment of homeless people.
He said homeless people on Burstone Road and Genesee Street, and those are the panhandlers that he was discussing, talking about. First of all, are they homeless? Is there an organization? Is this some sort of? Is it organized? And how do you respond to him saying that police are harassing these people?
Yeah, so without knowing exactly what day and time and incident he's speaking of, I don't know that I can comment on that. But no, it's a great question. Many of these people are not homeless. They are provided services throughout the community and are actively involved in these services. And I think it's a systematic issue of a bigger problem. But a lot of these people, unfortunately, are panhandling for their addiction issues. You'll see them both on Oneida Square just prior to and after, and then they go up to the Burstone Row area and panhandle for money. So these people are not looking for money to obtain homes or things. It really is because they have addiction issues, and that's what it's getting for. So we certainly urge people, if you wish to give to the service provider agencies who reach out to these individuals. We've done an immense amount of outreach both in the United Square area as well as in that Burstone corridor for these individuals, and those are where your money should be directed, towards the agencies that know how to handle these people and are providing the services they desperately need. Is there
a movement? Is it an organized movement to try to move these guys out?
Listen, everybody, there's no law anymore. There's no loitering for the purpose law. It's been repealed in many different capacities for prostitution, for begging, things of that nature. So we don't have a legal arm to move those people, but it is a quality of life issue. I can speak for myself. Twice, unfortunately, I've had my kids, and I've driven down, and I've seen individuals with their pants down, urinating right in the middle of the parkway. So it's just a quality of life issue that if those kind of things happen, those people shouldn't be subjected to it. We understand these people need help, and we're willing to give them help and partner with our agencies, but we can't have that kind of stuff, that blight, occurring in the city in one of our most trafficked areas.
Tom is in Utica with a question. Tom, on the Panhandle?
The guy that's on Burstone, like in the Parkway area by the memorial, he has mental health issues, and he's going to get ran over one day. Can't you get these people on obstruction of traffic? I mean, something like that, because I know there's a law you can't obstruct traffic. I'm gonna hang up, Tom, and let Sergeant Curley handle it. All right? Okay.
Yep.
Mike?
If in fact witness that, it's a. Did you hear the first part? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. So if in fact we witness that, it is a traffic infraction. So there's not a whole lot more we can do than issue a traffic ticket, unless they are committing like an unruly situation where they're blocking traffic. Then it could be a disorderly conduct. But unfortunately, we haven't come across that as many times as people just kind of standing in the road asking for money, and then they move when the cars start moving. But no, a lot of these people are not to a mental health situation where we can involuntarily commit them. So they have to voluntarily commit themselves to these services, and the best us and the service providers can do is do the outreach and offer them the services, whether they choose to take it. I guess that ultimately comes down to them.
I hate to say, when you don't know what you're dealing with, right? You don't. So I hate to say, but you roll your window up and don't make eye contact. I hate to say that. But
listen, it's everybody's prerogative, but again, we wish that if any monetary donation is going to be made, it's made to the service provider agencies that are doing the outreach and trying to help these people
get on a
better footing in life.
Don't be made to feel guilty about, I'm a veteran and I'm just trying to buy food. That most of those signs are not real. They're lies. You can, if you want to give to an organization, right, Mike? Give to a veterans organization.
You can write anything you want in a sign, but you don't know where that money is going to after that. But if you give it to the organization,
in a world, in our world where there are so many services available for everyone. So, I mean, if you have a problem, you're down on your life is down on you. You have a place to go. You don't necessarily need to be out there getting money. There's somebody that can help you and make sure you get unless that money's being used for something nefarious.
Right.
I agree. I mean, in a city this size, you wouldn't believe the amount of service provider agencies that are available for people in need, and I think they just need to take advantage of those agencies.
One more, Wayne, on with Sergeant Curley. Hi, Wayne.
Hi, how you guys doing? What I've noticed is lately, in the last couple of months, that they're more aggressive. They're like starting like at one point and coming right dead closer to your car, and then walking about a good half a block and going back and forth, whether they're talking to themselves or whoever, but they're getting more aggressive with that. You know what I mean? Pushing the sign like towards your face, towards your car, and then walking closer to the car and longer paths to and from, like at a light instead of normally they're just sitting there. Now they're walking the path, and you could tell by looking at the worn out spots. I mean,
they're walking.
Yeah,
they're walking back and forth.
Exactly. They're walking back. They're making a path now. All right. Have a good day, guys.
Thanks, Wayne. Andrew.
I do want to just get back to the shootings really quickly, especially with the younger people. Jeff had alluded somewhat earlier to the idea that it's because of the pandemic and the lockdown. I mean, is a lack of attendance in school a contributing factor for some of these younger kids, in your opinion?
It very well may be. We are doing our very best. The community sometimes says this is a systematic issue of a bigger problem, why this is going on. But, we do our as much outreach as we possibly can. We're partnership with the Utica Little League. We're partnership with the Police Athletic League. We're in our school districts. We're doing kind of things like, we're trying to be a more diverse department. So we're hearing the concerns of the community as to what the police need to do to reform. We just need the help of the community and converse to help us solve these crimes and be a good partner with us and ensure that these young people aren't picking up the guns and this is their outlet for violence and how they solve their problems.
All right, and once again, the way to report something, if you're worried about somebody finding out that you reported, you can do it anonymously by using Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers. Just search for it. There's an app. There's a phone number. You can do it anyway, but it is all anonymous.
Yeah, please. And, call our number. The Major Crimes Division is in charge of our shootings, so it's 315-223-3556.
All right, Mike, thanks so much. We appreciate it.
Take care, guys. Thank you.
Have a great day. Sergeant Mike Curley.
I think what Wayne was referring to, I have seen before, although it was on Genesee Street, where you kind of get this look like You're not going to give me nothing? You see me standing here with a sign.
I was in, this wasn't here, but it was in New York, and I had my window down, which was the mistake. Mm-hmm. And the guy's like, you have any money? I just want to buy some food. And I'm like, I don't have anything. And I didn't. I don't even carry money. I didn't have anything. He whips out a credit card machine. And I'm like, no, I'm just kidding. I'm joking. That's not true. But I said, I don't have anything. And it's me and my wife and my daughter in the car. And he said, oh, great. You don't have anything. You don't know what it's like. You don't know what it's like to be down and down and out. You can't help. I mean, he's yelling at me. I'm like, okay, this is a different approach.
A story for another day, but I consistently get into quite the escapades and tomfoolery with homeless people in Boston. I'll walk with them for like a half block before they start yelling at me because I didn't give them any money. We're just kind of just sitting there chatting.
And their life story before you disappoint them.
Or God forbid you give them food and they don't want the food.
One time I gave him food and then he was like, no, I just want socks. I walked 3 blocks to go to a CVS, buy him socks, and then he was like, do you have a blunt or $2? And I said, neither, and I'm going to let you go, buddy.
Well, in Nashville, there is a big homeless problem, but they do things right. So they offer a newspaper. There's a newspaper that's published, and all the articles are written by the people in the homeless community.
Oh,
and they disperse the papers, and they give them like badges to say, yes, these people work for this newspaper, and they can sell them. And whatever papers they sell, they keep the money for. So you'll see, instead of people just panhandling, you'll see a man or a woman with a bunch of papers for $1 each, and people will actually
and they're writing the stories.
So it'll be homeless people that write the stories, and so an organization publishes them.
There was a homeless
and they keep the proceeds
in Utica. There was a former professor at SU. Somehow everything got messed up, and he ended up homeless.
So,
now that's what he told me. I'm pretty sure it's true.
Well, okay. I thought you knew this. Look.
It was legendary. Everybody always said, he used to be a professor. Now, is that true, or is it possible that? But I'm pretty sure he used to be a professor.
Look, I don't know anything about the history, and again, I'm not saying that people don't need help from time to time. I'm just saying with the number of agencies out there, and
there's a place for help. There's no doubt about it.
There's soup kitchens around here.
Yep.
There's shelters around here. And I know at different times of year it gets more busy than other times. But
problem is the shelters are not allowing you to do drugs in there, and that's really what most of these are, drug problems. Quickly, and I got to move on. Steve, New York Mills. Hi, Steve.
Yeah, just on the panhandlers, I was driving up Burstone Road, and one kind of stopped me, and I gave him a job application, and he walked right away.
Yeah, did he take it with him or no? No, he doesn't want to work.
He flipped it around and made a new sign with it.
Well, that is his job. Standing out there is his job, and he's probably doing better out there than he would do probably if he took a job.
Let me see.
Crazy.
There you go.
Yeah. All right, Steve. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yep.
I mentioned this the other day that I was in the drive-through, and McDonald's had it's $15 an hour is the minimum is what their new minimum wage. So 15 times what's a 8-hour workday is $120. Do you think, because if you could make $120 working, on Genesee Street, that's right across from the McDonald's right there. That's usually where they wait at Genesee and the Parkway. $120 in 8 hours. Do you think the average panhandler pockets more than $120 over an 8-hour period, or do you think it's?
I don't know what they get, but I will tell you that all they're trying to do is get enough. They're going to get enough for what they need, and then they're just going to move on.